Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Grizz coming back to you with another video. All right, let's just jump right into it. Holy crap, what a day. All right, so first, it's April 25th, 2024. Remember on the previous day how I told you we were going to come and take all these highs? Yeah, well, that happened. But, man, I had such a stressful day on trading today. And it's all because of this. If you really take a look at it, holy crap, I overtraded. I know I overtraded, and I overtraded purely on greed. Let me walk you through it exactly what happened. So if we end up taking a look at the 5 minute, my very first two trades were by far amazing. We have this imbalance up here. First, let me showcase it to you. We have a 4 hour imbalance that I knew was going to be a crucial point today. So if we take a look here, let me first turn this off because it's going to get in the way. We had this crucial 4 hour imbalance, and it makes total sense because this giant candle didn't exist yet. We were all hovering around this area, previous day low. So if we take a look, let's go to the 5 minute. It made total sense to look at the market in a short way, in a short perspective in the morning. So in the morning, I entered my first position over here. I went short. As soon as we hit the fair value gap, we struck it and we came down to previous day lows. When we came down to previous day lows, okay, it's right here. When we came down to previous day lows, I was targeting this area. Equal lows down here, at least to the bottom of a wick. That's typically you're gonna see common what I aim for. I aim for equal lows, bottom of wicks, places where you see structure. You know, you want to have a good exit plan. Same thing goes with if the position goes against you. For example, I entered at 479 right on this candle. So right here, once we got to I entered as soon as we broke that previous day low. My exit plan would have been exit if we get above previous day lows up here, or even enter this fair value gap. Anything above this area, trade's invalid. You don't want to be in that. Well, entered it, and it was a pretty good play. Went from 479 down to 467. Now, I know that's not much, but I was targeting these lows right here, 461. I exited, what is that? I exited about 6 points early, and I exited 6 points early because I like to exit when price action begins to not make sense anymore. I'm not going to hold on to a trade and hope that it keeps on going my direction. If I'm in a trade and I see that it's starting to look bullish or it's starting to resist, I'm going to exit because I could always re-enter. That's my rule of thumb. It's a little bit more of like, I guess you could say, scalping. I came from a scalping mentality. I used to scalp a lot. I still kind of do every now and then, but I use it with along with ICT fundamentals or SMC. So I exited right here. Um, if we would have seen in hindsight, if I was able to predict the future, holding it for another 5 minutes and it would have hit my TP, it's all right. It's 6 points. I'm not gonna sweat that. Waited. Take a look at this candle, eh? Now, if you take a look at this giant candle, it was news. That just reminded me of the Conor McGregor. Who the fuck is that guy, huh? If you take a look at this candle, immediately swept down low. Going down low, I know we made a 5 minute fair value gap. Always jot those down. I don't really like jotting down too many 1 minute fair value gaps, but every now and then I feel like they're relevant. So either ways, came down low. I still didn't want to enter because it's news. You tend to see spikes all over the place. I don't want to get caught in the middle of that stuff, so I stay away. But we have this giant blue line, which was London low. We swept London low. We retraced to the 5 minute fair value gap that I have, and then we began to go lower. When we began to go lower, keep in mind, this is all before market open. We began to go lower. We made another 5 minute fair value gap. It might be easier to show you guys on the 5 minute. We made another 5 minute fair value gap. This is this one. And I knew that was going to be important because when we made that, we came down, and within 10 minutes, we came back into it. Midpoint. Midpoints are key, guys. Came to the midpoint of the fair value gap, and we began to sell. So when we began to sell, I already knew I had this 15-minute sell side liquidity. I knew we were going to hit it more than likely. You know, nothing's ever certain in the market, but trading in the market for so long, you kind of have an idea of what's going to happen. So I'll show you exactly where I entered and where I exited. I entered right here, 378, which is right here. I entered as soon as we rejected the 5 minute fair value gap. I didn't wait for a market structure shift, and the reason I didn't wait for a market structure shift was because I was targeting this sell side liquidity, and I felt like if I would have waited for a structure shift down here, not enough room for profits. So I entered right off the rejection, and I sold down here at 368 for a 10-point move, easy money. So my first two trades, that is already putting me at $440, and I should have called it a day. First trade was 12 points. Second trade was 10 points. That's 440 before fees. This is all before market opened. I should have called it a quit, guys, but I didn't. And it really screwed me over. I have another 5 minute fair value gap. I'm really not even going to go over all these trades because it's hideous to look at. Essentially, what happened was I saw we broke above, and since I already had this 5 minute fair value gap, I was like, okay, what's going to happen is the 5 minute fair value gap is going to become an inverse fair value gap. Great, perfect reversal. I'm for it. I'm with it. We broke out. We retest it. That's when I decided to go long. But it was chop city during that time, and I really should have stepped away after 2 losses, but I didn't. I took my first L on the candle, on this candle. I was entering around this midpoint, so every single time it would wick down. I simply was kind of oversized for my positionings. I was trading 1 mini when I should have been trading micros, giving myself that $300 stop. It's very, very tight. I ended up trading 1, 2, 3, 4. I had 4 losing trades in a row. 4 losing trades in a row right here. I'm just going to sum it up. Trade 3 was an 11.25 point loss. Trade 4 was a big loss at 20.25. Trade 5 was a 13-point loss, but then I made it all back on this one. On this one was my final last hoorah position, where I said I gave back the $440 that I had made. I'm down, I want to say it was like $700. I'm down $700. I'm going to enter this position. I'm going to double my size, and I'm going to give myself $500 wiggle room. If I can't hit it with this, I'm going to call it a day. I decided to go short solely on the fact that when we were going long, I went long every single time right here. and I kept on getting wicked out. It wasn't working in my favor. So my thesis was I was on the wrong side of the trade. I noticed we gave up the sell side liquidity that I told you we had taken. We're in this fair value gap, and I figured we failed to break up higher with it. I think we're going to go lower. We had made this previous low right here. So what did I do? I shorted at 347, which was right here at the bottom of this candle. Shorted it, aiming for 331, 331.75. I got out at 332, right there on the money. That was a big gainer because that turned a $730 minus red day to only being down 135 bucks or so. That was a $600 gain, 15 points with 2 contracts. That brought me back to life. I decided to take a breather because after taking maybe it was like 7 trades all right here or so, I was stressing, I was annoyed with myself, I was upset, but at the end of the day, I was happy that I got my money back. Bad mindset, we could fix that. Here's trade number 2, or not trade number 2, trade number 9. I believe this is number 9. Yeah, trade number 9. Or trade number 8, I'm sorry. Here is trade number 8. So, what do? We're coming up, and I didn't chart it, but I noticed that we have a 1 minute fair value gap right here. We have this 1 minute fair value gap. We have these highs. And I believe these were highs too over here. So what do? When we entered this 1 minute fair value gap, I decided to long. When I longed, it was right here. And I essentially wanted to just look for a position that's going to get me slightly green, put me up on the day. I don't want to be down on the end of the day. And I know it's a terrible mentality, but come on, guys. Nobody likes to end the day red. If I would have lost, it was going to be my end of the day trade. I was going to call it quits. That was it. Longed off the 1 minute fair value gap. I sold it for, I believe it was like 9.25 points, 185 bucks. That put me green, guys. It put me green by like $30 or something like that. This would have been an even better trade. Selling it on the fair value gap. On the larger time frame, on the 5 minute, we could definitely see that it went to it and then immediately rejected. So I guess I went for the wrong side, but oh well, it is what it is. I'm not going to sweat it. Here is my final trade. This on this candle over here. And I'm going to say it now, it is definitely over trading, but we could all learn and adjust. Things happen, right? I'm kind of just trying to prove to you guys and show you guys that like everybody with a little bit of practice and mental willpower can do this. So right here we have a 5 minute fair value gap. I saw it was going down. I still have this 15-minute sell side liquidity. We decided to come up, drop back down, and then what do? We come up and retest. When we do the retest, this is key, guys. Always enter on the retest. 99% of the time is going to work for you. We came into the retest. I sold right here. As soon as we broke out of it, I was like, okay, we're going to head down. I sold. Where was I targeting? Equal lows. Sell side liquidity. If I would have dragged this out in the fair value gap, I was targeting those lows. We dropped down. What is this? 5 minutes? 5 minutes into the trade. We're already at the location that I wanted to sell at. I sold at 369. The reason I sold at 369 was because this fair value gap, I thought it was pretty big. And remember, I was barely green on the day. I sold. I did not want to give back all these gains and let this turn into a loser. I ended up selling that for $345 and ended up putting me up on the day. These are the millions of trades that I took today. Here, if you guys want to see all the buy and sells, and this is terrible. This is ugly. But if we take a look over here, only 150-ish dollars in drawdown. If we go to the reports, gross P&L 395, 31 commissions, 364 in the day. Not bad. Not bad, not bad. Slightly above a 50% trading day. Win loss could be a little bit better. It is what it is. It adjusts. This is that one $600 gain that I was telling you about that was just insane. That $400 loss that really killed me. It was like 20 points. But overall, not too bad. We're looking pretty good, and we're on par with hitting the 400 a day. Really close. So if we continue hitting the 400 a day, by the 10th trading day, we're going to have 4 grand. 2 grand we're going to withdraw. We're going to leave the other 2 grand as a buffer. The 2 grand that we withdraw, some of it we're going to keep as a payday. We're going to invest more of it into more Apex accounts because we're trying to multiply this to the 100K and get to the 100K as soon as we can. Hopefully it's by year end. I'm pretty positive we could hit it within a couple months if we keep this up. But yeah, that's how today's trading day went. Let me know what you guys think of today. I know it wasn't the best trading day. Did you guys make money? Did you guys lose money? I had a lot of friends besides me get chopped up in this whole area. I had a few friends actually made a good amount of money. But what was happening was people essentially just entered early. I entered early numerous times and it failed before to go up. All right, now what are we going to look at for tomorrow? I don't even know what to even look at for tomorrow. Did you guys see all that news with Google? They're finally starting to pay dividends. They beat earnings. Massive, massive win for Google. I mean, look at that candle. That's caused by Google, essentially. Now, we swept these highs. It's possible that overnight or tomorrow we run up for these. We're on the 4-hour, but it could be possible that now we are switching to a market maker buy and we're going to essentially do like a big U here, come up for previous weeks. It's possible. I would not be surprised. I'm going to be very cautious. It's going to be Friday tomorrow. Fridays are typically, I struggle bust it a little bit on Fridays if I'm honest, but we'll see how it goes. All right. Thanks guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.